How's it going, guys? Welcome back to TheBlueShifting. Welcome back to Muv-Luv Monday. Ooh, spicy week. So, as of last week, officially on the anime front, Operation 21st has started. And if you haven't really liked the anime so far, don't really blame you. It's been alright, but I feel like if you weren't a fan of the series already, it's likely just, I don't know, it hits those points in the animation so well that are so powerful, but they're powerful for me because I played the games, you know? I can't really imagine having even close to the same punch power if you watch the anime. You didn't have the time to fall in love with these characters. You didn't have the time to really understand what it meant when characters were falling. But Operation 21st is the first time we're really getting to see that juicy combat, and the beta. I think seeing the beta animated really heightens the intensity. Like, in my head, it was always easy to imagine them as a threat because of how my imagination works. It's always on overdrive. They are horrifically interesting creatures. But to be able to see them animated, especially the laser class, oh my gosh, it was wonderful and terrifying. So, highly recommend you watch it. Anyway, getting to that aside, we're getting to this insanity, where the French have really made their move. They've captured the orbiting platform. They've captured NATO's base in the Cheyenne Mountains in Wyoming, and if they follow through with the destruction of that, the fallback control center is going to go to Canada, which means that they will have complete control of all the nuclear warheads in orbit that normally protect us from beta seeds that are trying to start new hives on the planet, which means they have tactical striking capability on the entire globe. Now, one thing that kind of occurred to me is that, yeah, this sounds very horrifying, but then you also got to realize that technically the Americans had this already. They technically had control. Now, they had their system to try and protect it, but it looked pretty likely that the president, if pushed, could have made the move. So maybe the United States was always kind of holding this pressure over everybody, but in a we should all be working together kind of way, like a political tool. And the French are using it for the same reason, but they're crazy enough to actually do it, which is what's really terrifying here. I think when push comes to shove, the United States would have been met with a lot of internal resistance to stop such an attack. I mean, that's kind of what happened with the Seattle. They were thinking of sending a nuke over to Toronto, was it? But there was a lot of people in the American forces that did not want that to happen. I think at this point the French don't care, at least not the ones that are making these decisions, and frankly, that's terrifying. So, yeah, this is very much a critical situation. So, we're going to see, and we get to see, I think, Takaru in action. So, he's going to be in the Takamazuchi in the black one. So, we got to keep an eye out for that. Now, obviously, this is probably going to be a pretty extended event, so I doubt we're going to cover it all in this episode, but let's get to the ground, let's see how it starts, and see how we do. No, we're probably all going to want to go for longer than usual this time, but I got to keep it realistic. So if I feel like we hit a good break point around 45 minutes to an hour, that's where I'm going to stop. So just buckle yourself for that, but let's get started. All right, so Kusamoto, by the way, we had the voice line at the end of last week's episode, but her voice line here was really well delivered. You can hear someone who's doing their job but under intense stress, and she's terrified of what's happening, which I don't blame her. Poor Kusamoto. Having to write the literal Bible on low oxygen zones by hand, no less? I would have lost my marbles. Who has the patience to do that? Oh well, I've got more pressing stuff to deal with. So last time I talked a little bit about the reasons why low pressure and low oxygen zones are so bad for this situation. But I mean, they don't have a choice. They gotta go. Hey.
Yuzuka,
you doing okay, Yuzuka? She looks dead serious.
今さら言うことでもないとは思うが、手紙くらいはきちんと残しておけよ。
注意、心配していただけるのはありがたいですが、それはごく個人的なことなので。
Yeah.
隊員の問題は作戦前にできる限り解決しておきたい。でないといざという時に判断が鈍る。そして仲間がその巻き添えになるんだ。
You know, this is serious. We've had really bad odds before. This is the first time he's gone to the effort to say it, but of course it also might be his worries about her father.
お前が親と相入れないんなら、それはそれで仕方がないさ。でも、仲間を不安にさせるな。言いたくないんなら、聞かれるようなことをするな。 構ってほしいならもう少し受け入れろ。
You know what? Props to Hibiki. Like, he's got a point here. He's like, look, if you don't want to talk about it, quit acting so standoffish. Like, he's saying, like, look, you're sending us all the signals that tell us you want to talk about this, but you refuse to. So you either got to stop acting like that because it's what you really don't want to talk to us about it, or if you do really want to talk to us about it and you're having an internal battle about it, like, just trust us and let us be there for you. He's got a really good point.
本当はもっとゆっくりきちんと話をしたかったけど、こんなことになっちまったから。
I have a feeling though that she's...
頭ごなしに悪いと思ってるよ。
I think she's still carrying a lot of the burden, of course, of like the terrible decisions that she had to make in order to help them survive across the plains. And I think that's also part of it. Like, I think when she's being attacked so personally, like, she's probably thinking like, well, what about you? You haven't had taken care of your affairs, really. You're just like, well, you just told yourself what you want to hear.
こんな当然のことを理解できないお前じゃない。大きな理由があるんだろうと思ってるが、一応言わせてもらった。
注意。
ミオのエレン。
平穏な年の瀬なんて期待してなかったけど、ここまで来るとサプライズすぎて冗談かと思うわね。
Oh yeah, understatement of the year. Oh yeah, should have died like 10 times over last year. Yet here I am, about to buy the farm right before the fireworks go off.
それより私たちもヘルメットの説明は受けました。簡単なのですけど。
そうか。それじゃあ楠本軍曹が詳細説明に戻ってくる前に招待ブリーフィングを済ませておく。
Okay.
今回の出撃ではエレメントの構成を変更する。俺の領機はミオノだ。仙道少尉の領機はエイス少尉とする。
Interesting. I wonder why. Maybe to make sure that the two most experienced are paired up with the two less experienced?
そういうわけだ。頼むぞミオノ。はい。以上だ。あと20分でここを出る。各自低酸素地帯戦闘のマニュアルを再確認しておくように。解散。
I wonder what his reasoning for this is. Like, I mean, I don't see a problem with it overtly. It's just interesting to change things up like that.
待ってください。待ってください。理由を聞かせてください。これまで手綱注意のエレメントを務めてきたのは私です。この重大な作戦でそれを変えるべきではありません。
Interesting.
そうよ。一体何考えてるのよ。いくら雫の腕が良くったってそれだけでは済まない問題でしょ。納得できないわ。
これは熟慮の結果だ。変更はない。
父との確執ですか。私がその個人的問題を体内に持ち込んだから。でもそれとこれは別じゃないですか。
I think you're wrong there. He's like, that had nothing to do with this decision.
違うでしょユズカ。いくらなんでもそれで隊全体を危険にさらすようなこと許されるはずがないじゃない。けど響き。
その通りだ。そんなくだらない理由じゃない。無関係じゃないが、これが現状の最良だと判断した結果だ。
Interesting.
理由になっていません。
今回の任務は過酷な環境下での激戦になる可能性が極めて高い。互いに気遣うことの重要性はブリーフィングにもあった通りだ。
Yeah.
だが小牧大尉の直属である俺たちに求められる働きは生産プラント奪還戦の日じゃない。クリアすべき条件は想像以上に厳しいはずなんだ。
Right.
アメリカ軍の手前、私たちを見て帝国軍そのものが判断されるということね。
You gotta admit, he's got his hand in the politics a lot better now. Like, he's actually thinking like logistics outside of just the battle. He's like, look, we have to succeed this battle, but we also have to really be on point here.
この間俺は言ったよな。あの丘で俺は上を目指す。力を貸してくれって。お前の無茶が俺だけじゃなく俺たちの価値をどんどん上げている。そこから降りることはもうできない。だから力を貸すと同時に当事者であるという自覚をしっかり持ってもらいたい。
He's right.
前置きが長くなったが、そこで俺と仙道少尉は戦闘に専念する。ミオの少尉とエース少尉は戦いながら俺たちのサポートだ。気遣ってもらえることを期待しないでくれ。
See, that's kind of what I assumed, and like it makes a lot of sense. Like, it just fits their roles better. They're both like Lieutenant Ice and Miono, or Ellen and Miono, are both very much more like, they're more like the, oh shoot, I can't remember the position names. There's the striker, like the front person, that's what Takaru tends to be. And then they had like the rear, like ranged people, like that fits them really well. And it's actually like if I were in a TSF squadron, I think that would be my role, just because I tend to be like observant and like kind of thinking like big picture. I often like to play, you know, I should try playing a support role more often in my games. Like I've always kind of been like meh about it, but maybe I really would be a lot better at support. Just because I think that way. I'm thinking about like, what's the worst case? What's the way that we can like prepare for what's coming, kind of a situation. Like I'm always like thinking and planning like that. Anyway, I think he's got a good point here.
2人は俺たちよりもサポート適性が高いと判断している。それが俺と仙道少尉を分けた理由だ。
ああ。
お話は分かりました。最後に私と父の問題が無関係じゃないという点を教えてください。
That is interesting. I don't see that.
その問題はお前もそうだが、お前以上に仲間が気にかけている。俺はそれをいろいろな機会で知った。
Oh, okay.
それを
分かりました。
エイス少尉頼んだぞ。ミオの少尉もな。以上、解散。
Okay.
二人とも深刻そうな顔して言っちゃいました。
Yeah, unfortunately. They definitely were both very upset at this. The rest is up to you, Ellen. You understand what Yuzuka's going through the best. That's why you're the only one who can watch her back.
さっきは余計なことを言ってすみませんでした。
ああ、余計なことなんかじゃないさ。お前の言葉で俺はこうする決心がついたんだ。
Good.
ミオノが俺と組む？どういうことだ？
Ah, interesting.
これは私が勝手にそう思ってるだけかもしれませんけど、違ってたらすみませんけど、きっと今回も注意は無茶しますよね。
He doesn't plan these things.
きっとその気がなくてもきっとそういうことになっちゃいますよね。
Alright, she's got him there.
そうかもしれないな。俺たちは小牧大尉の直属だから、特に日米合同となれば帝国軍の顔みたいなところもあるし、しっかり働かなきゃいけないよな。
そうですよね。
無茶をする俺からユズカを遠ざけるべきってことか。どうしてそう思った？
Oh, she worried that Yuzuka's gonna go like, you know, do the get down Mr. President, take the bullet type of movement?
ゆずちゃん、お父さんが生きてたじゃないですか。それなのに仲が悪いまんまで、それでもしものことがあったらすごく悲しいし、私そんなの嫌です。
Interesting.
ジュイのお家のことはよくわからないんですけど、でもそのジュイは大丈夫だから、
Oh, okay. So she's accepted that he is going to be taking risks. It's going to happen. She's worried about Yuzuka dying before she can resolve her family issues, because of all the people here, she's the only one that has family at this point. So it would be really depressing if that happened. And so if she's paired with Hibiki, that she's more likely to be jumping into the thick of it. If she's paired with Ellen instead and Miyono comes with him, she's more likely to be in that situation. And since she sees herself as being familyless and as an orphan, she feels like for some reason she feels that she would be less of a loss to the grander scheme of things, which is not right, but I see why she's thinking that.
俺の家族はもういないよ。
だからゆずちゃんの代わりに私がジュイと一緒に前に出ます。
She's pretty adorable, isn't she? Like, every game I feel like there's a character that I'm like, you are my little sister. Like, you must be protected at all costs. It's like nothing to do with like romantic feelings at all. It's just like, this one must be protected. Like there are, like, this one is mine. There are many like it, but this one is mine. Miyono is that for this game. She's like, you must not perish, young one.
何言ってんだよ。お前には小手川先生やみんながいるだろう。俺たちの中じゃ一番大家族じゃないか。
Good point.
はい、い いっぱい幸せでした。そのおかげで覚悟はきちんとできています。でも、ゆずちゃんは。
Wow. If Miona's really like, if this is serious, and I think she is, then she's grown a lot in the past 2 episodes. She really like went through that trial of the second episode, and it looks like she's come out the other side exactly who she needs to be.
ミオの、お前の思いは分かった。だけど、あいつの個人事情のために、お前が犠牲になるのはおかしい。
犠牲じゃないです。みんなが精一杯頑張れるようにするためです。
Interesting.
こうした方がきっとみんな作戦に専念できるし、そうすればみんな生き残って作戦も成功して、そのためなんです。
お前が俺の背中を押してくれたんだよ。感謝してる。
やめてくださいよ。
Oh, that was adorable.
けど、お前は理不尽さを感じてるだろうな。ゆずかの個人事情のために、お前を犠牲にできないって言っといて、結果はこれだ。
Oh, this is a cute little suite. I don't think I've heard this music before.
そんなことありません。私が望んだ通りになったんだから満足してます。私頑張ります。
頑張ります。
そうか。
それよりもゆずちゃんすごく落ち込んでました。注意のサポートができないのはやっぱり辛いですよね。
Yeah.
考え足りなかったな。
Whether Yuzuka actually has romantic feelings for Hibiki or not, and whether those will ever be reciprocated or not, she is chained to him. Like, their fates are sealed together, likely because of the terrible things that they face, both before and after the trek. And so, like, any separation, especially in danger, like, is gonna really rip at her.
サポートができないことより、もっともらしい理由をつけて外されたって感じてるからだろう。大丈夫。あいつならきちんと整理できるさ。
注意分かっててとぼけてるのかな。
それにしても、正直、お前を子供扱いしてた。悪かった。あれだけ無茶させれば、お前だって一人前になるよな。
私を成長させてくれたのは立浪注意と大神注意です。
Ogami, the best girl.
大神注意言ってました。自分みたいに臆病者になるなって。ついていくなら立浪注意の下がいいって。
I like Ogami.
その時はよく分かりませんでした。でも今なら分かります。あの時プラント奪還のために突っ込んでいく時確信したんです。
待て待て。大神注意は臆病者なんかじゃないぞ。そりゃ落とされはしたけど、あの覚悟と行動があったから俺たちは。
そうじゃありません。注意は部下を殺したくなくて、無理なのに自分で全部背負い込んで短期で突っ込んで。
To be fair,
だから落とされたんです。
Hibiki also was shot down, but he was able to get closer and didn't take as much critical damage, so there's still a point.
あの時部下を盾にしていれば注意は成功していたはずです。
Because that's what he did. Hibiki ordered his subordinates to run interference for him.
立浪注意は一人だけ前に出て突っ込んで、それを危険だって言ったゆずちゃんにお前がついてこいって言いました。覚えてますか？
What did he say? I can't remember.
そんな単独は危険です。エレメントを崩さないで。
おお、だったらお前もついてこい。
It better keep off then.
大神注意は隊長なのに誰かを犠牲にできない、命をかけろって言えないことを臆病者だって言ったんです。それは本当の信頼じゃないんです。
That fear of losing them was greater than losing herself. So that's how she was a coward. Not truly a coward, but she was more prepared to face death than to face the reality of losing subordinates, because she'd already seen that path and didn't want to walk down it again. It's why she was so talented but never rose any higher, because the responsibility was terrifying for her. Which, granted, I agree. It's terrifying to me too.
そりゃもしも本当に死んだら取り返しはつかないから簡単には言えないですよね。私は無理です。
Yeah.
でも私たちは仲間です。 どんな事情だっていいじゃないですか。みんなが精一杯頑張って生き残るための道を考えるべきです。
I see. Dang, Suzuku. Pulling out all the good philosophy today.
そのために盾になれって言われたら私はそれでいいです。それでもしも死んじゃったら
Aww.
その時は仕方ないです。
ミオの
だから私一生懸命頑張ります。よろしくお願いします。
ああ、わかった。背中は任せたぞ。
Aww. Lieutenant Ogami, thank you so much. Miona's matured tremendously in these past few weeks, and it's all thanks to you. I wasn't sure about Miona's way of thinking at first. It seemed to me like she's used to fighting as a crutch because she had nothing else. But I can see now she's changing for the better. When I see Miono growing so much, I can't help but look in the mirror. And I can't say I like what I see. I'm stuck in place, and honestly, it's depressing. Fetch, man. Preach to the choir, because that's where I am.
今度大神注意のところに見舞いに行くときは高い菓子折りでも持っていかないとダメかな。
Ooh.
腕と足をよこせって言ってました。移植待ちだそうで随分不便してましたよ。
Okay, so she did officially lose an arm and a leg. They were kind of vague about that before.
そんなもん土産に持っていけるか。話が生々しいんだよ。たくあの人はあけすけにも程があるだろう。
That's really funny. Personality quirks aside, Lieutenant Ogami put her life on the line to set Miono on the right track. I'll survive no matter what and give her my thanks in person. Please do. Oh gosh. Here we go. Oh boy, you two. Oh boy. Oh, Yuzuka.
ユズカ、いい加減にして。
ごめんなさい。そうよね。公私混同でこうなったのにまだそんなことしてるなんて情けない。
The trouble is, like, you're allowed to have emotions. It's okay even for soldiers. But like, timing is important. This is not really a good time for it, unfortunately. You can't choose these, but like, I understand why they're like, come on, stuff it down for a little bit.
何言ってるの？違うわよ。人がさっきから話を聞く体勢でこうしてそばにいるのに何黙ってるのよ。
Yeah, it's true.
あんたそんなに周りが見えない人だったっけ？その目節穴になっちゃったの？
They're very emotionally intertwined here.
エレン、私納得できない。
公私混同を理由に外されたわけじゃないことは理解できてる？
それはわかります。周囲の言っていることは理屈ではわかるんです。
That's the big trouble. Like, Yuzuka definitely is attached to him, but like, she needs to be honest with Hibiki. She like will not admit, even if she isn't romantically interested, like she's obviously very interested in him. But she hasn't apparently been clear enough about that, despite the axing down his door.
だったら響の後ろをついて歩くんじゃなくて肩を並べて歩けるようになったって考えられない？
Ellen's got it.
そんな私にはとても無理。
And she says she can't because I think of the terrible things that she did to keep him alive. She refuses. She feels like she has to pay. She's inferior because she's weaker, that she succumbed to being the monster in order to keep him from having to do so. She took the cue from their leader, who did what he could to prevent them from becoming monsters. And then when the time came again, I think she became the monster, you know, traded her humanity to help Hibiki keep his. But now she feels like she can't walk beside him because she doesn't feel human anymore, really.
響はそう思わなかったんでしょう。だから自分とユズカでやるって決めた。私にとっては羨ましい話なんだけど。
Interesting.
エレン、
ああ、ごめん。そういうんじゃなくてさ、これでも元オービットダイバーだもの。それなりに腕には自信があるわけ。でも結局私たちは個人じゃないから腕の良し悪しだけで決まるわけじゃないんだよね。
Yeah.
響が誰を信頼できるか、誰とならやりやすいか。ユズカは常にその筆頭にいる。
It's funny, this reminds me, I have a wonderful group that I play Star Citizen with, you know, the great scam. It's actually not really that much of a scam. It's like actually delivering a game, and it has a gameplay loop that you can play right now that's really fun, and I enjoy it. Definitely not for everybody, but it's really up my alley. I invested in it like way at the beginning, and so it means I have access to playing it, but I didn't play it for a while because it just wasn't something I could play on my computer, and it was pretty basic back then. Now it really feels like a fully functioning game that they keep adding to. The fact that it keeps growing, like, yeah, people make fun of like the big budget and all that stuff, but they actually keep delivering stuff, and the stuff's actually getting really, really like better and better all the time. And like the game's about to double in size, which is really cool. So anyway, regardless of all that, I found a really good group of people I play with. And what's really funny is that we practice squad tactics. So we move in pods, usually of 6, 3 and 3. And we each take up roles, we communicate, we try and do basic tactics and such. What's really funny is that I always feel like I'm like the weakest link on the team because I have played the least. A lot of these guys have been playing for like over a couple of years now. And I barely just started getting back into it a few months ago. But ironically, for some reason, it always feels like when the going gets tough and we start getting gunned down and people are dropping, I always feel like I end up being one of the few people left standing. We got a point where we got ambushed by an enemy squad on a ground battle, and everyone got dropped except for me. I pulled out like a tool that has a tractor beam on it, and I was able to like lift the bodies from the cover positions that they had fallen in and pull them back into safety, and then I was able to steal one of their med guns and heal them. And then we started cycling through where I was pulling people back into cover and we were healing them with our aid packs. And I was able to do this and essentially took the squad from the brink of disaster, where I was the only one standing, back to our feet. We fought back and got free of our position, and were able to retreat to a medical bay in order to heal our battle wounds, because the game simulates a lot of that stuff. But it just reminded me of these issues where it's like squad trust and squad like cohesion and chemistry is more important, because I don't have the raw skill. But when push came to shove, we were able to coordinate our efforts. I understood what I needed to do, and I was able to execute it in a really fun way that felt very dynamic and very real. Which is part of, again, why that game is really fun. Anyway, enough about that ranting. I apologize. Let's keep going. Because it's just weird, because like I'm feeling so connected now to squad-based tactical engagements and squad-based communication.
たまたま注意とは一緒にいる時間が長いだけなのに。
Maybe. But just because if you have trust, it's trust. It doesn't matter why.
それがユズカの最大の強みよ。だから今回の響きの采配はベストだと思う。これで私たちは無事に年を越えられるって思うぐらいに。
Ah, because he's saying like we don't want to put the squad in like top priority 1, 2 together and then the next best tier. You want to mix them because then your whole squad has a better chance of being successful as a whole.
あとはユズカが心を決められるかどうかだけよ。何がそんなにユズカの自信を奪っているのか知らないけど、誰かを守れるってことはその人のことを理解している上に同等以上の技量が必要なのよ。
Oh, that's a challenge.
ユズカは響のために響を守りたいのよね。響を守ってる自分に満足したいだけじゃないんでしょ。
Ellen coming out with the hard questions.
それはもちろんです。
ならもっと自信を持って自分を卑下しないで。ユズカを信じる響を信じて答えを出しなさい。
Ellen's good at this.
わかった。
She's really good with her words.
それじゃ行くわ。
待って。ありがとうエレン。気持ちが楽になったわ。
Good.
そう。よかった。本当にそう思ってる？
思ってる。大丈夫よ。ごめんなさい。つまらないことで心配をかけて。
It's not nothing, but I agree.
とにかくこの作戦を必ず成功させましょう。そしてゆっくり語り合いましょう。
You know what? Just throwing this out there. One of the things I would love to do, if someday this channel grew enough where like the Patreon and the channel revenue combined allowed me to be full time, I think one of the things I would absolutely want to do, I'd want to commission a Muv-Luv flight suit to cosplay in. How awesome would that be? Dream big. I say it's never gonna happen, but I dream it. It's maybe the stars will align. Maybe someday, like, I'll just find that there's a massive audience out there that's been waiting for content like this for a long time, and that together we'll be able to make something wonderful like this. And then together we'll also be able to help build the community and everything. It'd just be fun. Wouldn't that be fun?
サポートよろしく。
Yes.
こちらこそ。
Alright, here we go. That's the music of beginning. We're flying from Seattle to Wyoming. That is a long flight. We're starting in tanks? Interesting. Well, the APCs. Personnel transports with cannons on them. God, it's gonna, like, we don't have a lot of time.
まさかこのような形で里帰りすることになるとはな。
Oh, is he from Wyoming? Interesting. That's where I was born.
息子よ。至らぬ父を許してほしい。
Oh, fetch. If his son lived in Cheyenne, then yeah.
お父さん、それ僕にくれる約束でしょ？
ブライアン、これは戻ってきてからだな。出かけに家の鍵のキーホルダーを渡すのは。
I had no idea he had a family.
遺品見たくなっちゃうから？
そうだな。縁起が悪い。
じゃあ戻ってきたら約束だよ。
ああ、約束だ。では行ってくるよ。ブライアン、母さんを頼むぞ。
わかった。あなた気をつけて行ってくださいね。
Maria.
ああ、分かっている。必ず帰ってくる。
お父さん、本当に約束だからね。
Dang.
僕。
分かった分かった。しかしそんなにこいつが気に入ったのか？
あなたがラプターに乗ってるところを見てからですよ。自分もパイロットになるんだって。
The Raptors are pretty cool.
そうなのか。ブライアン、本気でパイロットを目指すつもりなら大変だぞ。勉強もスポーツも一流でなければラプターに乗る資格は得られない。
See that right there? I could probably manage the second half. Definitely couldn't have passed the first half. I likely would be in the coordination room in the back.
知ってる。でも僕もお父さんみたいになりたいんだ。
Aww.
分かった。戻ってきたらトレーニングを手伝ってやる。
本当に約束だよ、お父さん。
Oh man.
ああ、約束だ。
And the disaster.
コマンドポストよりハンター1、準備完了です。タクシーウェイまで移動してください。
ハンター1、了解。
Here we go.
ブラックバードよりコマンドポスト、定期報告だ。現在のところ敵の姿は見当たらない。引き続き警戒を続ける。
You're likely to find the first one by being shot down. Like being a helicopter pilot in a TSF war zone would be horrifyingly scary. At least the beta had the decency to only attack you with lasers.
燃料消費は計算通りだが、飛んでいられるのはあと30分程度だ。以上。
And how interesting. I'm surprised that they're going to be able to use helicopters. I guess up until they get really close, because really low pressure zones would be a problem. Like helicopters can't fly over really tall mountains because the pressure gets too thin. I imagine that, especially in like the NORAD center, especially, that low pressure zone looked pretty intense. So I bet you they couldn't fly close to it.
コマンドポストよりブラックバード。了解。警戒を続けてくれ。交代を準備させておく。
Noom.
こちら小牧、各小隊長に告げる。
Right.
現在のところ周辺に敵の姿は感知されていない。だが目的地までは確実に近づいている。即応態勢は崩すな。
We know they're setting a trap, so the fact that we aren't seeing anything is really scary.
現在外部の大気圧、酸素分圧は平地の約 60% 前後。これは富士山の山頂とほぼ同等の数字だ。 油圧区画から飛び出した場合、高山病を発症する可能性があるので注意しろ。
You know, that's interesting. Honestly, like, so that implies that they've made their vehicles airtight, which makes a lot of sense, but you think what they would need to do is, like, slowly equalize the pressure as they get closer. Like, because that's the problem. Like, if they have to suddenly sortie and they don't have their helmets on, they could just walk out there and get really dizzy. You don't want that with a pilot, like, especially in a crisis mode where they have to get in their TSFs, like, right away. So I would say, like, shouldn't they be in their pressurized suits, or shouldn't they equalize the pressure so they can get rid of, like, the discombobulation now? This Bradley is hermetically sealed to protect us against biochem weapons. That makes a lot of sense. Plus, oxygen canisters are being opened at regular intervals. As long as we don't step foot outside, we should be fine. What's interesting, though, is they must have CO2 catchers, or else this wouldn't be a very good situation long-term, being hermetically sealed. I wish I could stretch my legs, though. This is suffocating.
なお計画に遅れはなく、戦闘開始予定時刻は明日の人号〇〇を想定している。
So they're driving through the night. Sorry, I got an itch in my ear for some reason. So 1,500 hours at 3 o'clock in the afternoon for 12-hour increments. Yeah, so they're going to be driving through the night. We're getting closer and closer to the battlefield. This mission is to take down NORAD HQ. Does it get any harder than that? Yeah, literally. NORAD is the most notorious, nearly impossible defensive locations. Like, it's like a modern day castle. Like I said, it was built in the height of, like, Cold War fear, and they did everything they could to try and make it, like, defensible, and it's been updated since then. It's probably one of the worst places to have to try and go into and take out. It could probably be held by a small number very efficiently. Because even after the TSF defenses are dealt with, getting into the base, you're going into a defensive position with narrow choke points that make it so that you could easily have 2 people protecting an entire passageway, and, like, it bottlenecks everyone. So, like, you know, like, it keeps the balance of power, like, even, which means that the people who have been able to set up defenses are going to have an advantage. And so, like, a small number can hold out for a long time, and NORAD HQ likely only has a few basic passages, like probably one on each side of the mountains, and maybe one emergency path, but that one wouldn't be on the plans. So, yeah. During the Cold War, the Soviet Union had tens of thousands of nuclear warheads pointed straight at the United States. And the building we're supposed to attack, it was designed with second strike capabilities in mind. Like, so yeah, it was built to be, like, if they just carpet bombed the US with nukes, this place would live and be able to respond and carpet bomb right back. This place was nasty. We know the layout, and that ain't gonna make infiltrating a darn place any easier. The operation is gonna make a counterattack on the plant look like child's play. Our plan is to approach Cheyenne Mountain Base from 3 different directions. The U.S. Army will launch an attack from 2 vectors, while the Imperial forces will try to break into NORAD from the 3rd underground hangar entrance. For the large opening, it's not very well defended, but the French will be on high alert since we only need to gain foothold in the building for the battle to turn in our favor. And that begs the question, how come the United States Army ain't hitting that place themselves? I'm sure it's not because they trust us or anything. There's gotta be something else afoot. Well, whatever the reason, it ain't the time to complain, not when we've got a job to do. I'm guessing that there's more to the base. Like I said, I talked about secret entrances and stuff. I'm guessing that there's some kind of secret element there that aren't willing to reveal. Here's another thing that's interesting. So remember how when Japan first came over, the whole controversy at the end of episode 1 was the portable, like, nuclear, like, devices, like, what were they, like the C-15s? They were apparently given over to the United States as part of, like, the Japanese being able to be a part of it. The whole issue was that Marimo-chan kept hers and hid it. Where are those? Those seems like they would be pretty useful here. Like, to be able to, like, because even that means if you get a pilot at least close to the Cheyenne entrance, even if things go super south, you could have them, you know, detonate that thing and clear out the entrance. You know, it'd be a lot easier to get inside. Well, I guess it would be a problem if you collapse the entrance, so maybe that isn't a great idea, but still, like, where are those weapons? Besides, we have it easy compared to the infiltration unit. Yeah, like I said, they're the ones that are really gonna have a problem. Those poor guys will have to cross the raging battlefield stuck inside Bradleys. Matsukaze's supposed to cover their asses, but it's not like he could guarantee their safety 100%. Yeah, especially when you have car-sized bullets flying around. Man, I wonder how Her Highness is taking this whole situation. She's gotta feel personally betrayed. The conference was supposed to be the first steps toward perpetual peace. Maybe the best we could have hoped for was a truce, but even then, they would have given the chance to end the famine in France in a reasonable time frame. But now, they forced our hand. We're long past peaceful resolution. And I can't help but wonder what Her Highness will do when the dust settles. If history's anything to go by, solidarity with the French will be completely off the table. I mean, yeah, at this point, like, with such a direct, like, threat to, like, the world and a willingness to pull that trigger, I don't see there being peace as an option. I mean, the only thing I could think of would be a mutual enemy. Like, if the Beta really ramp up an attack, it could force a peace, but out of, like, desperation rather than actual cooperation, and that's likely to fall apart the instant things start taking a turn for the better. Fetch, man. I'm so antsy. But the problem is like, there's nothing to be done. Not much of a conversation. Alright. Okay. Miyono is a mood here. Can we just capture this image? I don't think it's a great thumbnail. Like, my gosh, I want to make it one. I almost want to make this a meme or something. Like, I want this to be like a new emote for the Discord channel or something. Just like, because that's how I would feel. Like, Yuzuka and Ellen are either they're trying to sleep or at least pretending to sleep. And Miyono's just sitting there like, we're gonna die. Yeah, things are sort of awkward between us. And I can't say I'm too thrilled to go into battle with our personal issues dragging us down. Oh, she keeps glancing my way. She trying to, I don't know, start a conversation? Yuzuka looks like she has a lot of things she wants to say. Might as well throw her a bone. Oh, fetch. What just happened? Great. Of course. I mean, this makes sense, but I feel like we're really far away for us to be hitting landmines. Like, this is not great. Of course they were ready. If I were them, and I knew where we were approaching from, I would just use the mine as an opportunity to spring up like an ambush sitting like behind the hills, like to our like flanks. So like you hear the explosion, a couple TSFs fly up and just mow down from behind. That's where Bradleys are going to be the weakest. They're not going to have much time to respond, and they might be hesitant to scatter into the woods because they could have mined the sides of the road, like kind of put them in a pocket. So as soon as they try and dive for cover, they just blow themselves up. That's how I would set a trap for a convoy.
先行の車両は無人なのか。
隊列の頭はそうですが、踏んだのは2両目みたいです。この調子で2、3個仕掛けられてたら、到着は相当遅れますよ。
Simple but effective tactic.
うまくいかないもんだな。
If we keep springing their traps, we're going to fall way behind the Americans, who are airlifting their troops to NORAD. By the time we reach the battlefield, the United States and France will be in the process of slaughtering each other. Wonder if she'll tell us to get inside our TSFs. Oh, that's true. They don't even have to be here. If they decide they want to just kind of wear them down, just having like one mine placed in the road, and then maybe another mine like a few miles down, just placed in the road. Just let them creep their way forward, terrified that they're going to be next. Give them like a bit of peace, but the built-up tension, and then occasionally, boom, another one falls. Boom, another one falls. Like it feel like you're counting down to your death.
了解。聞いての通りだ。今の俺たちにできることはない。ゆっくり体を休めてくれ。
了解。水飲みますか?
Yono for the win.
ありがとう。いただきます。はい、どうぞ。
Oh, she's so cute.
ところで、ミオノ。はい？俺には水くれないのか？
すみません。今すぐに。
Oh,
ちょっと雫
she just brained herself.
大丈夫ですか？大丈夫です。
I think we needed that.
響狭くて危ないんだから焦らせるようなこと言わないで。
そうです。あんなタイミングで言われたら慌ててしまいます。
悪いな。
All it took was Miona falling flat on her butt to go back to the usual routine. Why was I even worried?
二人とも大丈夫ですから。平気ですから。
This is another good picture right here. Just frame it. That mental. I love it. Oh boy. Oh boy. Infrared cameras.
ではゲグラン少佐である。
Oh jeez, that was really loud.
フランス陸軍第13戦術竜騎兵連隊の諸君に告げる。
Oh no, these are the other ones that are really cool. These are the ones that the Europeans had.
今長きにわたった困難の時代が終焉を迎えようとしている。思い返せば今より2年前、アメリカ主導のバビロン作戦の失敗により我々フランスは多数の同胞を失った。
I mean, she's got a point. It was American-led and really pushed by them. They wanted to turn that to their advantage. They thought they could just easily just take over everything.
目を閉じれば諸君らの脳裏にも浮かんでくるだろう。数多くの市民が飢えにさらされた。親が、子が、恋人が、大切な人が自分の腕の中で死んでいったことを我々は忘れてはならない。
Oh gosh.
だが勇猛かつ知謀に長けた我々は機動港を占拠し、同時にこの基地を奪取し核を手に入れた。諸君らに問いたい。我らが流血を辞さずして決起したのはなぜだ。それは我らが同胞に、家族に、友人たちに安寧を与えるためである。
I hate this. This sucks. Why do people have to be like this? Fight? Like, I hate everybody in this situation.
私は諸君らに宣言する。
Oh, lovely. Now you've got crazy eyes.
アメリカに虐げられ、苦難を強いられてきた我らの運命は、この地で勝利することによって変わるのだ。
Is it sad to say that I'm kind of terrified that this is actually a real battle cry that will someday like cause problems for like the world? Like, as an American, I do feel like we stomp around with our position of authority a lot too much. I feel like it's going to alienate people, and like we've had certain leaders recently who have also done their best to try and alienate those who should be our best friends and try to make friends with people who really are direct threats. So yeah, please understand, most Americans just want our normal people who have the same issues you guys do.
この戦いで我らが祖国フランスの未来が決まる。諸君、正義は我らにある。
Everyone thinks they're on the right side of history.
武器を取れ、隊列を組め。行こう。第六共和制の子らよ。栄光の日は近い。
Now there's a thumbnail. That's a look of insane enthrallment. She's drunk the Kool-Aid. That's so loud now. Oh man. There she is. My favorite character. I really want to know more about her, and I really hope she's not going to swallow all this. Maybe she'll help turn the tide, because she looks awesome.
隊長、ゲグラン少佐は本当に核を使うつもりなんでしょうか。あいつらは何も見えていない。食い物がなくて苦労してたのは自分たちだけじゃない。 アメリカだって同じだろ。
See, a lot of the French pilots haven't drunk the Kool-Aid.
だいたいアメリカを滅ぼした後どうやってベータと戦っていくのか本気で考えてんのか。
No, they're not.
でもこれしか手がないのかもしれないし。
Oh, and that's the worst part. Is they get dragged into it. They don't get the luxury of making choices.
自分だって食料支援を引き出すことは賛成です。そこに妥協はすべきでない。ただこれはそういうレベルを超えている。
Oh yeah, no, you've officially said like we are either going to get what we want, and let your people starve, or we're gonna die.
よしな、今は目の前の戦いに集中しなさい。
隊長。
でないと死ぬわよ。
She's cold, but she's so cute.
了解しました。
Gosh, she's so cute. Oh, you.
いよいよですね。
I never liked you. Sagiri has been... He's had good points, but in extra and in alternative, I didn't like him, and here I like him even less, because I'm pretty sure he was the one that tried to shoot Hibiki dead on the middle of the battlefield last episode.
タイ、このエレンチューの動きは聞かされておりませんか？そうです。奴らには一発かましてやらないと死んでも死にきれない。
So this is his troop of like defector Japanese.
せかすな。それではタイが答えられぬだろう。
帝国軍の移動が確認されたと報告を受けた。複数の竹三日槌が運搬されているという情報も入っている。
Takamikazuchi. They're like, yes! Oh, but they don't know. They don't know what monster is about to be unleashed on them.
これであいつの仇を取れる。
Not that Takaru is a monster, but for them he's gonna be.
今まで耐えてきた甲斐があった。
宇田、長野、必ずイカルガの首を捧げてやる。
貴様ら、仇討ちだけに気を取られるなよ。我らを拾ってくれたフランスへの恩を返さなくてはならん。
Right.
当然です。あの状況を目の当たりにしては、ここで立たねば恩を返せません。
国を追われた我々を救ってくれたゲグラン少佐の向上に報いましょ
う。前期出撃準備。対人類装備だ。
Oh. Anti-human combat.
タイ、我々の配備先はどこになりますでしょうか。
まだ命令は受けてない。
この後に及んでですか。了解です。彼らが信じるに足る働きをしましょう。
I wouldn't trust them.
個人的には帝国軍と戦いたくはないんですがね。もっとも戦場に出てしまえばそうも言っていられないんでしょうか。
Yeah, because remember, so they were IJMDF, but I'm guessing when the Royal Guard took over, they protested and were summarily rejected and executed and sent packing. Like, I'm guessing that's what they mean by being exiled. They were people who obviously they wanted to rise up and they did rise up in alternative. In this case, the Royal Guard rose up first and kind of took them out. Oh, I wonder if Takaru was part of that. I don't know though. I feel like because like the result of that in alternative was because he had his memories in that round. So I don't know if he would have received it early enough to make that matter. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh, that's weird having them shoot at you.
空気が薄いのを忘れるな。ジャンプユニットはうまく使えよ。
Yeah.
了解。
God, sucks. Scatter. Wow, this combat's so different from what they trained for. party's already in full swing and things are only going to get crazier. Piloting under these conditions is harder than I expected. As the Americans. Oh wow, that looks like a real picture.
I
mean, that makes sense. That's a good defense. Oh, jeez. Oh, crap. Yeah, you better not. Here we go. Coming to greet us in person, huh? Guess they don't have the time to set up traps on this side. Here we go. He's going for melee. Interesting. What? Huh? Why are these dudes giving up the slip? Ain't close quarters combat that much? Oh. It was an ambush. That was pretty effective. They blindsided them because they like flew in the front to keep their eyes focused on them. Classic. Yeah, they come, Raphaels. Oh, I don't like this. We're spread out all over the place. Easy for the enemy to penetrate into our midst. Yeah, I'll eat a hat if they don't prepare for us in advance. There we go. 0104. Oh, he's coming in for the dance. How you think you're hot crap, huh? You're in for quite a surprise, butthole. No one beats Imperial pilots in a dogfight. Isn't there Imperial pilots too? Now that, ooh, that might be the thumbnail right there. What the heck? Dang, that guy's good. He knows how to handle a melee blade all right. I don't know, man. They've been really good about deflecting your attention. I know how to read a battlefield, I'll give them that. I guess these guys must be old hands. Yeah, there's a lot of people panicking. Oh, they didn't let the public know yet. Oh gosh. Did they really? I doubt it. Oh, we're gonna be coming back to a burning city. Fetch, man. Yeah, that is interesting. Why isn't she on the sortie? I thought she would be on the battlefield. Oh, lovely. Oh, okay. Guess we'll just do that then. I agree. Interesting. First Lieutenant Ogami. She's being left behind. Good. Well, what else is she gonna do?
安心させてやるのが私たちの任務だろう。
はい。
急いで車を回してくれ。
はい。
情報の広まる速度が速すぎる。内容もおかしい。誰かが誘導していると考えるべきか。
Yeah. But who premeditated it? Because remember, the IJMDF, you know, the Royal Guard, they specifically said that when this all settled, they would be in control potentially of the United States. And they didn't send all the Royal Guard. They sent some. If things fall apart and the United States loses control of the population, and the Royal Guard has the ability to step in, they could claim essential sovereignty of Seattle, with the United States completely out of position for anything to manage it. And if that's the case, and this is like the precognition effects of the Royal Guard, IJMDF, then they are using this entire crisis as a means for power. That means they could have stopped it because they knew what was coming, and they chose to let it happen because it would maneuver them to be in power when the dust settled, which is the same strategy the United States had with Babylon. And look how well that worked out for people. Oh,
急いで、みんな急いで、早く荷物をまとめるのよ。
先生、どうしたの？
大変なの、大変なのよ。
何が大変なの？
She's panicking. Unfortunately, though,
先生の顔面白いよ。
honestly, it might be better just to hunker down. Like, great, if a nuclear device is launched, yeah, they're completely dead. But there's no way they're going to be able to make it out with all this insanity. Like, it's like you're just going to get into a gridlock.
もうそんなこと言ってる場合じゃありません。シアトルから逃げなきゃいけないのよ。ここにはいられないの。ミサイルが飛んでくるのよ。
ミサイルって爆発するやつ？またお船に乗らなきゃいけないの？
だから急いで。ああ、どうしましょう。
先生、慌てちゃダメだ。
一郎君、あなたお仕事に。
道路が人で溢れてる。こういう時は絶対に慌てちゃダメだよ。外に出たら燃焼組なんかすぐはぐれちゃうって。
Good man, Ichiro.
でも大丈夫だよ。絶対にミサイルなんて落ちてこないから。だって雫やエレンがいるだろ。あと立浪も。あいつらが守ってくれるさ。
そっか、雫姉ちゃんがいるもんね。じゃあ安心だよね。
I don't like the death flags that are flying right now.
ああ、安心してていいぜ。先生、食料と水だけは確保しておこう。3日分もあれば大丈夫だと思う。
He's absolutely right. By the way, big proponent, honestly. Like, I'm not into like doomsday preppers and all that stuff, but I do think a good rule of thumb just for any disaster is to have 3 days worth of food just in your home, and like non-perishable food that you can eat without heat, because disasters happen and it's really good to be prepared. Like, you want clean clothes, you want clean water, you want food. Also heat sources. I remember like I've been stockpiling little bits at a time because we don't have like a ton of resources or money or anything to just buy whatever we want, so we've been building up over time. We got 2 years ago we got tents and just and sleeping bags for outdoor like camping if necessary. Last year I got portable heaters, and like so that if we had the power go out and we had to like hunker down to stay warm, we could pile in one room and have one little heater to heat up the whole room and just keep us like around for keep us doing okay for a while. We've been keeping the general store of food up for a while. I need to be a bit better about the storing of water, but that one's not as bad because like water pipes usually are the last thing to break in a dire situation. So like if you know things are getting bad, like a really good idea is fill up your bathtub. Like drinking water out of the bathtub doesn't sound fun, but the thing is that's better than not having any water. So you just keep the bathtub as full as you can, cycle the water if you still have water pressure in the next day or two, and just have that reservoir. Also, I think it's also got to be realistic about like a toilet stopping working. You need to have a plan for that. It's one of the first things that people don't really think about. Anyway, I just think it's good and important. A good rule of thumb, no matter where you are in the world and how safe you feel, just be prepared. It's always good to have 3 days worth of supplies because you never know.
そうね。
よし、じゃあいいか。年少組は施設内でじっとしてること、年長組は俺と一緒に裏の畑の収穫。今日は小さいのも取ってよし。
He's right. Like, it'd be nice if they could grow more, but in this situation, I'd better be safe than sorry. I like that. Good job. Oh man.
ノーラッドは軍事大国アメリカの悪しき象徴とされ、高度約 300km に設置された人工衛星から地球全土に核兵器を発射することのできる施設です。
Ironically, NORAD wasn't, like, I mean, maybe people could interpret it that way, but NORAD used to be a symbol of American and like United Nations coordination. Because, oh, what does NORAD mean? I'm gonna look that up because I remember it meaning something like north or like north something. I'm gonna, like, I'm sure you guys are like screaming at me because, like, I see meaning of NORAD. The North American Aerospace Defense Command. So it's like the United States Canadian binational organization charged with missions of aerospace warning, aerospace control, maintaining warning, and maritime warning for North America. So it was a coordination of North America, but it was information they shared with nations like Japan, Great Britain, France, like our allies. Like, it was a coordination point, and they have coordination points just like it, but NORAD obviously was the one that was the best prepared and had the most infrastructure for the entire system. Being in American control, especially when things fell apart between the US and Canada, I could see it being used as an American imperialism symbol, but like the creation of it was anything but. It was about cooperation in face of potential destruction. Look at this. I wonder where they live right now, because that looks rough. Gosh darn it, that propaganda. The thing, starving people, they'll take whatever crumbs they can get, of hope even. God, it's so gross.
私の問いになぜ答えないのですか？なぜ戦争を止めようとしないのです？
I am terrified of this answer. He's like, because it's all according to plan.
恐れながら殿下、仕掛けてきたのはフランス側です。ここで我々から譲歩するわけにはいきません。
真壁中佐、将軍殿下と軍艦閣下の対話中であるぞ。
Fair.
彼らがいかに人道にも取る手段を用いているかは理解しています。過度な譲歩も必要ありません。ですがそれは武力によって対抗するという意味ではありません。交渉のテーブルで存分に議論を戦わせればよろしい。
No, like, actually, I think Yui is wrong in this case. Because essentially what they've done, even in samurai terms, like, I'm gonna guess this works. Essentially what they did is they came together to share a meal to discuss an agreement. They walked in with their blade unsheathed sitting across their lap. When they were both told not to bring weapons, they not only came in with a weapon, but with one unsheathed ready to strike, being like, let's talk, you know, like with the looming imminent threat that things don't go my way, I'm going to kill everyone in here, and you aren't ready for that. How can you still negotiate your way out of that without severely undercutting yourself to the point of insignificance?
このままでは我々もフランスと同じではありませんか。
She's right, but the problem is I'm not sure there's another option here.
一国の指導者があたかも直情的に銃に銃を向けるとは、あまりにも無思考で反射的でありましょう。
Oof, he doesn't look happy.
我が国の立場は本来、常に武力衝突の危険をはらんでいるアメリカ、フランスを仲介すること。そのためには、日和見な態度を見せるカナダと交渉を進める。食料プラントの移設はそのための交渉材料です。
我が国がアメリカに頼らねば国家として存続できなかったように、フランスもカナダを頼らねば成り立ちません。かの国の行く末が日本の将来を占うことに気づかぬイカルガ校ではございませんでしょう。すべて重々ご承知のはずなのに、何故いたずらに混沌の道を進むのですか。フランス、アメリカの戦力低下を期待して戦争を継続させるつもりなのですか。
That's what I'm worried.
それは何にも勝る愚行。人類が対峙しなければならぬはベータ。人類の中で優位に立ったとてベータに一周されては何の意味もないというのに。
I guess the argument I could see them making is that since the beta hive likely is in a zone that's inhospitable anyway, like bombing it to oblivion with nukes isn't that bad an option, you know? Like, I mean, like it worked with the hive that tried to establish itself in Canada, but the problem is like that was a hive that was really new, like hadn't really set its roots down. This one's pretty established, so it might not work.
誰か
藤原でございます。
入れ。
失礼いたします。閣下、時間でございます。
控えろ。それが将軍に対する振る舞いか。
は。
殿下のお言葉は拝聴いたしました。スタッフと相談し検討することにいたします。
He's just so smarmy. He feels slimy. That's the problem.
なれど殿下、誠に恐縮ですが、これにて失礼せねばならぬようです。
Oh yeah, sure, of course. Pressing the badge. Not like we're about to instigate a full-scale genocidal war. Yeah, let's go talk about these other things. I mean, though he really does seem like he's got his ducks in a line, so I'm sure he does have a plan, and I'm sure Takaru is a big part of it, but I still can't say I like it.
イカルガ校、校が歩調を合わせるお気持ちがないのであれば、私めも自由にさせていただきます。
He just loves to not say anything.
真壁、放送の手配を。殿下にシアトル在住日本人をイブしてもらおう。
What's she supposed to say?
どういうことでございましょうか。
そのままの意味ですよ。今パニックになられるのは困る。殿下は国民からの印象が良いからね。国民の動揺を鎮めてくださいますよう願います。
See again, he's not wrong, but he's just slimy. Oh, I can't help but not like it.
足を止めるな。優位なポジションをキープしろ。
All right. I think we have to sadly end it here. Okay. I had a feeling we were going to be ending kind of like at the beginning of everything, but we've got all the setup, and now we're in the battle zone now. We're in the Thunderdome, and it's going to get insane. So buckle up and look forward to the next week. Why is it always that some of the most intense climaxes of my Muv-Luv playthroughs happen in December? Like it always seems like that. One of the coolest things, like if you didn't follow the entire series up till now for some reason, one of the coolest things was Operation 21st, which happens on Christmas Day in the game. I got to Operation 21st on Christmas week, like out of pure happenstance. And so I did a special that week where I did 2 episodes. I did the first half and the second half of Operation 21st in the same week. Like the first one was on Monday, and then I had a special release on Christmas, which was on Thursday that week, where I did the other half. Like, so the end of Operation 21st, the end of Christmas Day in that year was also released on Christmas Day in that year of like when I was playing it. The overlap was insane. And so here I feel like we're getting another one that's kind of like that, where like we're hitting these intense moments in December, which is when a lot of the intense moments and climaxes of the game actually happen. And I keep hitting these moments in December. Like obviously I hit other climaxes as we go, but why are always the biggest ones in December? Like almost like it's like meant to be. It's like, what's the opposite of a cursed channel? It's a blessed channel. It's a blessed playthrough. I love Muv-Luv, and I love it. It loves me too. I'm excited to see how things play out next time, but we'll get there when we get there. Hope you guys are doing great. Hope you enjoyed your holiday if you're in America. Otherwise, I hope you're looking forward to the Christmas season. Even if you don't celebrate Christmas, this time of year is always exciting, and the New Year's, of course, being exciting as well. Got some fun stuff planned for the channel in the future, so keep an eye out for that. But ultimately, thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you all being part of the channel itself and just helping it grow. I hope you've enjoyed the trip up until now. Thank you especially to the patrons. Again, I am just happy with the channel as it is. If it never grew anymore, I could be quite content with it as it is. But as it grows, it gives me more abilities to expand. It gives me more abilities to like enhance the channel, to get better equipment, to do more cosplay stuff. I really want to do Muv-Luv cosplays, but it's really hard to find stuff that I can get shipped here from Japan, and then like it's really, really hard to get custom stuff done without having to pay an arm and a leg or have a lot of talent and stuff that I just don't have talent for. But someday I'd love to get more involved in that. It'd be really cool. But as much as I talk about that, that's all stuff that happens if I happen to be able to do that. So, you know, I want anything you give, I pay it forward. I want to help the channel grow and become stronger. But yeah, I'm just happy you're here. So thank you so much. I hope you guys continue to enjoy, have a great holiday, and enjoy the rest of this series as we play it. So until the next video watching me, have see me next. I'll see you there.